here we have page 16 of the Earth Science Reference Table, Properties of Common Minerals. It's always good practice to look at the title. Very first thing you should do when you're looking at a brand new table or page diagram in the reference table. The next thing we want to do, this is just table reading skills, is take a look at the column headings. All right, so we have all of these different columns. The column goes vertically. So we have luster on the far left, hardness is the second column, cleavage or fracture, sort of this third column, common colors, distinguishing characteristics, uses, composition, and finally, all the way on the right-hand side, we have the mineral names. Okay, so how do we go and read information from this table? So let's imagine that I want to know a little bit about the mineral pyrite. We want to look at pyrite. Let's say I want to know what type of luster does pyrite have. So I'm going to read across the table, and I can see that it is in the metallic luster box. So pyrite has a metallic luster. I can also read across and see that pyrite has a hardness of 6.5. Right? In addition to that, I can also tell that pyrite has a checkbox on the fracture side of the breakage column. So pyrite has a metallic luster, it's a hardness of 6.5, exhibits fracture, it has a brassy yellow color, has a green to black streak. Another distinguishing characteristic, it is very commonly known as fool's gold. All right, under the uses column, it says it is an ore of sulfur. All right, so what does that word ore mean? That just means that it's a source of sulfur. So it is mined for its sulfur content. All right, and finally, we have the composition column. So if we take a look at the composition of sulfur, it says FeS2. Now this is not a chemistry class, so you might be thinking to yourself, I have no idea what Fe or S or what the number 2 is. Right? That's okay. So this is the chemical formula for pyrite. If you want to know what Fe or S is, you can just scroll down on the Earth Science Reference Table or look at the bottom of the page. I need to scroll down. And we take a look at the chemical symbols. So we were looking at FeS2. That's the chemical formula for pyrite. So Fe is iron, right down here. And S is sulfur, which makes some sense because pyrite is mined. It's an ore of the element sulfur. So that is how you use this chart. Just another example here. If we want to take a look at the mineral quartz, one of the most common minerals on the surface of the planet, and we can just kind of draw our line over so we know what we're looking at. Quartz is within the non-metallic luster section. It has a hardness of 7. It fractures. That's what the check mark on the right side of the line means. It has dominant form of breakage is fracture. Quartz is colorless or has variable colors. As seen in the last video, it can be purple, it can be yellow, it can be clear, white, black to gray, almost any color imaginable. All right, distinguishing characteristics, its glassy luster. It also has a very unique crystal shape. It forms these beautiful hexagonal crystals. If anyone's into kind of crystals, I'm sure you've seen quartz all over the place. Common uses, it's used in glass, it's used in jewelry, as well as electronics in a big way. And then the chemical formula is SiO2. So that means that it has Si, which is silicon, and oxygen. So for every one silicon, it has 2 oxygen atoms. So that is what that's what the number means. Right, so it just tells you how many of those particular atoms are in proportion to the rest. Okay, so that is the basic overview of how you use the back page of the Earth Science Reference Table.